All right, we are live. Good morning, peeps. How you doing? Waiting for people to join in my random live. Good morning, Deli Sandwich. How are you?
Hey, good morning, peeps.
Nope. I hear it again. Doing my updates while we wait for people to join in. Good morning, Eric. Good morning. You're gonna have to. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. Guest from Hawaii. Could you help me out with that? Break it down. Kat, good morning. Sam, Rainy Girl, Isadora, good morning. Grand Risings, all that stuff. How's everybody doing today?
This is
Oh, Lord. I'm telling you what,
this.
TikTok. Anyway, so let's do some welcomes and everything while everybody's jumping on. I caught a blurb of Frank's podcast, so we're going to talk about that. JT, good morning. XRP Golden Age, good morning. Yeah, it was very interesting. Um, I have not watched the whole thing yet, but I plan to. But I did catch someone shared a clip of it from on Telegram with basically the good part or the what is it, the meat and potatoes of the thing. Hot coffee. Good morning, everybody. So let's do the check in. Tell me where you're at and how's your weather today. We've had rain for 2 days, and I think the rain's over, but it's cloudy. Coda is here, but he is resting on his bed. I had the Florida Jeeper. I'm all about Jeeps. I've had Jeeps since I was 16, and if you've owned a Jeep, you know that the windshields are rock magnets. So um, my newest Jeep, I had I bought it almost a year ago. Had it about 2 3 months and got a rock, so I had to get a windshield replaced. Safe Light, they've used Safe Light for years. They did a great job, but whoever installed the last one went. They wanted to make sure it was very secure. So you're supposed to use about a quarter-inch bead of sealing around it, and they used about a whole inch and a half. So they ended up those guys. One guy showed up, he couldn't handle it, so they called in the backups. Two guys was here, and it took them about 3 hours to get this windshield out. So they basically had to smash it and roll it out and scrape it as they were going. And oh man, it was a nightmare. I'm sitting there sweating bullets because they got piano wire sawing this thing. I'm like, and it's silver, so the Jeep is silver. So I was like, oh man, they're gonna kill my paint. Normally, my old Jeep, I didn't care. I beat the heck out of it. But this one is, it's still very nice. So that was my evening. All right, so let's catch up here. Niagara Falls, Canada. It's nice out. No, yeah, I've never been there, but it's definitely on my bucket list. Hawaii, warm and beautiful. Upper 90s clear here in Spokane, Washington. Spokane, Washington. My late grandfather-in-law lived in Sequim, so I've been there a couple times. Never been to Spokane. Damp and fair in South Carolina. Arkansas, sunny and 77. Indiana, 67. Yep, grew up in Southwest Ohio, so I know that weather all too well. Sequim is Washington State is in the whole Pacific Northwest is so beautiful. Again, mainstream media, we only see what they want us to see as far as politics and all the craziness there. If it wasn't for the politics, I could definitely live in the Pacific Northwest. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, so we got a few people in here, and this is going to be a quick live, so we'll jump in. So, going back to Frank's podcast and a little clip that I saw. So basically, he was reporting that the executive level of the CBI banks, president, vice president, that sort of thing, are meeting with the governor of CBI, Al Locke, next week to discuss the instructions for the new currency. So, guys, that's big news. That's important news. And then, so here's the thing about verbiage coming out of Iraq when they say next week. So today is their Sunday. So Saturday is their Sunday, and then our Sunday is their Monday. So next week is technically tomorrow. So look for some big stuff coming out early next week for us, Sunday, Monday. And then, so as far as Militiaman, it's totally took me by surprise, and it's not really important, but the last Saturday, I believe it was, when he was on with Mark Z, and I thought, I think he at that time was like, they're coming out with the rear, they're going to come out straight out of the gate at their top capped rate, and then his podcast last night kind of like Mike dropped as he on the way out. He's going to be a managed float. So yeah, Cap, it was a good one. But yeah, I kind of Mike drops and walks out that it's going to be a managed float now. So again, I don't care. If we could go to the bank tomorrow and get 76 cents, I'd be the first one at the door, because I'm so ready for this thing to go, that I would be right in line. But again, with a managed float, we think, in our American Western thinking, that the things, when they announce things, can take a long time. And Frank has always said that when this thing goes, that it would float like a rocket. So he thinks that, they delete the zeros and kick off the whole thing, reinstate at 322, and then the float would be, super fast. So I'm not worried about it. It's just it's splitting hairs at this point. I just want it to go like all you guys do. So, so the whole kind of it's almost taboo, I guess, at this point. Do you believe Mr. C or do you not? I wholeheartedly believe that he believes what he's been told is the gospel. And I'm not sorry, my voice takes a while for it to get going in the morning. I don't discount anything he says, because it's kind of he's been in it since the beginning. On Thursday, Mark Z had Mr. C on, and someone brought up the topic of could Iraq go before the RV. And so he said that they are one of the signatories of the Golden Treaty. And the only way that they could go ahead of the RV is in country only. Um, so again, it's splitting hairs, and we're dialogue under the assumption that everyone's believing what Mr. C says is real. So, um, but even if that's true that they go in country ahead of the RV, it's still, if we get word of that they did go in country, then we're moments or days away from the global RV kicking off, because once that rate's out there, and this is how it's different from when they did the RV process in Kuwait. In Kuwait, there was pre-internet, everyone had cell phones in their pockets, and the technology we had then, so they were able to keep it contained. But in today's world, and Mark's a good example of this. People have code words and phrases, and Bob's uncle is sitting in the chair in a corner, and that means someone has got money, and they went country. So there's ways to get that out. But going back, if it does go in country and we hear about it, we're moments or days away from the RV kicking off. So it's all good news. So whether you believe Mr. C or not, that's just a personal. You have to kind of work that out for yourself. I've heard more from him that makes me believe him than not. And my wife had a good point about this, because I'm like, things could have changed since then, but a treaty is a treaty, and you go back to historical times, and when they were like doing land purchases and things like that in the United States, the Louisiana contract and things like that. So a treaty is binding. So if you believe in the Golden Treaty, you believe in the whole fable of the advsor and RV and all the stuff that's attached to it, then you have to kind of wonder, is it all true? And we're all here on faith, so it just takes a little bit more faith to believe in Mr. C, I guess. My caffeine's kicked in. How's yours? All right, you got bounced some stuff back off me, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. Give me your thoughts and opinions, or tell me to shut up. It's funny how many trolls are out there, and it's like, I don't care. It doesn't faze me. I was raised by a Vietnam era Marine, so I have no feelings. But it's comical that people get on here and tell me to get a life and stop wasting my time and all this stuff, but yet here you are taking your time to watch my show to get to comments to say stop wasting my time. Comical. All right, guys, what do you guys got? Got any questions? Got any comments? Got any opinions? Do I think it's going to happen this week? Here's the thing. I never wake up in the morning and think like I'm going to have a notification go to the bank. I think we're going to wake up and there's going to be a big news piece that says, either Iraq's going to country or um, groups have been paid out, bonds, CMKX have been paid out. I think we're going to see big major steps like that, and then it'll cascade down to us 4B going. Um, another tell will be that you'll get reports that the lower denominations are on the streets in Iraq, because when that happens, they have to have a new rate. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So there's going to be you're going to see major events happening and cascading that will lead us to it. It's very possible it could go this week. But I think we need to see those things happen before we get too excited about, like, we're going to get notifications or whatever to go. Mr. C thinks there will be a normal election. I do not. Christy, thanks for watching. Uh, I'm on the. I don't know about that. I mean, Scott Young was on with Mark Z, and he's absolutely does not believe there will be an election. He does not believe there will be one. To me, it's so dramatized that it could go either way. I would love for the Supreme Court to pop out of a cake and say, here it is, and it's overturned, and Trump's your president, and I would love for it to go down that way. And you would think that Trump would want it to go that way and get his pound of flesh. But I can also see it going through November and the election. And the reason I say that is it's let's think about this for a second. They set up Camel Head. I even hate saying her name. They're making her out to be such a communist clown that it's so obvious that everyone wants Trump back in office. So it'll be a landslide popular opinion. Trump's the president, and then they do the Dominion voting machine hack again, and we wake up and she's the president. It would be so blatantly obvious that they stole it again that it would have to have major consequences. Um, people rising up, or um, it being overturned because it's so blatantly obvious. That's the only scenario that I could see playing out with an election. I hope, and I just, part of me doesn't believe we're going to get there, but you don't know. All right, get back to you guys. Yeah, deli sandwich. I'll take anything at this point. Just get going. Lower denomination commercials expected next week, when I believe a lot's already back in Iraq. Silver, if you can get your hands on silver, it's going to blow up. So yeah, I think when you see the currency reset and all these things happen, silver will explode. Good morning, Spring Roll, Grand Rising, XRP Golden Age. I think it's all good to go simultaneously. Yeah, I definitely think it'll be kind of a shotgun start, or a hand grenade hits and blows up and it all goes. We definitely could see a black swan event. Christy, love Dr. Scott. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Is that the next election that we see is through Nasara. So my thought on that is, if it is a SCOTUS route that we go, that um, Trump would be reinstated, and then his first executive decision would be to announce Nasara or whatever, however that rolls out. Good morning, everyone. In case I missed anybody. When the stock, okay, so going back to, it's been probably 2 weeks ago that Saudi Arabia unloaded all their treasury holdings, and you're seeing that tsunami hitting and happening with the trillions of dollars that are being lost on the stock market. And I say tsunami because a tsunami happens out in the ocean, some seismic, shift in place and an earthquake or something. And it swells underwater, so you don't really see it coming until it's too late. And then all of a sudden, you have this big wall of water and it crashes down. That's what we're seeing, that swell coming with all the money being lost in the stock market and people dumping stocks and all that stuff. And I believe that the crescendo of that tsunami is going to be the stock market crash. And that, I think that could happen this week. I mean, there's certainly have been enough loss to the stock market for that to happen. Thank you, Christy. So yeah, I think there I think there has to be a hard reset, and it's not gonna be. We're kind of like um, the people sitting on the edge of our seat waiting for all this stuff to happen because we know what comes next. But for the people who don't know what comes next, it's not going to be fun for them. It's going to be very, very scary. And then the way our human minds work, if you've ever mentioned any of this to people or your family, your friends, and then when this black swan thing happens and the reset and all this stuff, it's going to trigger those memories, and they're going to come back to you and be like, oh my God, you were telling me about this. Then it's going to be our responsibility to kind of talk them off the ledge and say better things are coming. But we're still, if this thing goes tomorrow, I mean, let's just play make believe for a minute. And everybody, exchanges and our lives look, totally different. We're still in for a bumpy ride in the world, and especially in our nation with all the invaders. It's not like they're just going to be like, oh, the RV happened. All right, let's pack our bags and head back to Nicaragua or Venezuela or wherever. So there's still going to be, this is why I talk a lot about prepping. There's still going to be disruptions to life. And it's going to be bumpy and ugly. So the minute that you have funds available to prep and prepare, don't waste any time. Get on it. If you're able, the best defense, the best security system is get a dog. They will alert you. I don't care if it's a Chihuahua or a German Shepherd who's snoozing. Get your dog, because even if you have a burglar alarm, and even if you call 911, it's not instantaneous. And if you live out in the country or wherever you live, 911 is not going to knock on your door in 2 seconds flat. So you have to have a line of defense. And, a bigger dog, the bigger the better, is your best line of defense, because it's definitely. I had the two guys here working on my Jeep, the windshield, and Coda was just flipping out. I mean, even with me telling him it was okay, there's something about one of them he didn't like, but they kept commenting. They're like, "Oh my God, I hope that dog didn't get out." Um, and they weren't like little timid people. They were. One of them definitely was an ex-con. The other one looked sketchy too. So yeah, it definitely is your best line of defense if you can do it. Once naysayer missed the RV, they will be looking for a bridge to jump off of. Definitely, all the people that you've told about this, and they've dismissed it as you're living in some fairy tale thing, or you're telling me that something I can buy for $68 is going to be worth $2 million. Yeah, the second that goes, they'll be slapping themselves in the face. Face palm emoji. But at that point, I plan to disappear off social media and all that. And my opinion is, you should have jumped on board when you had the chance. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. I just want to do a quick one to update everybody, and my voice is not working today. So I appreciate everybody's time. I hope you guys have a great Saturday, a great weekend. And like I said, like always, if anything happens, and let me say the disclaimers, everything you've seen up to this point is in my opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, and it's for entertainment purposes. So there's that. If you would hit that like button, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. I appreciate your time. Thank you for getting on here Saturday morning, and have a great weekend. So we will see you guys on the next one. Have a great weekend.